Hi everyone, I hope that you guys are all doing well and shining your beautiful light bright. For those of you that are new here, my name is Rosani and I inspire and motivate people to be the best version of themselves. If you are returning, welcome back in. I hope that you guys are continuing to shine your light bright, continuing to do better, be better, and know better, because that's all that you really have in life. Today, I wanted to talk about the hardest thing that we can do as humans. The hardest thing that we will ever have to do for ourselves is love ourselves. And literally, it's the hardest thing that you will ever have to do because self-love hurts. When you have to look at yourself in the mirror and face yourself and face all of your flaws and face all of your weaknesses and face everything that you've done in the past to go against yourself, you have to face all of your sins and you have to question yourself and you have to see how you can be the best version of yourself and love yourself. It's the hardest thing that you will ever have to do because in society, we are not taught life skills in school that we need to use and that will be of help to us when we get older. Schools train us to be automation robots. School is literally like a jail. When you go to school, you're told what to do, you're taking tests, you're competing against other people, you're getting ready to go into the workforce. Schools do not teach you life skills that you need, like setting boundaries, being honest, being accountable, being able to reflect, being able to ask insightful and thoughtful questions. You are not taught to connect with that inner part of yourself. You are trained to be like everyone else. So when you are an adult, you have to face all of that trauma that you experienced as a child. Everyone has some sort of trauma. When you're human, you have some sort of trauma. You've seen things or experienced things that has changed some chemical parts of your brain. When you are ready to start loving yourself, you're ready to start setting new standards. You're ready to forget what everyone around you has told you about self-love. You're ready to start creating your own definitions. You're ready to start setting your own boundaries. You're ready to start understanding what it is that you will and you will not accept for your benefit and not for the benefit of anyone else. Because a lot of the times we are nice to others and we'd be willing to go above and beyond for others, knowing that it's not necessary because that person is taking advantage of you. So sometimes we allow people to take advantage of us, just like how we've allowed the school system to take advantage of us. We've allowed the workforce to take advantage of us. And in setting these new standards, don't talk yourself out of these standards. These new standards that you're setting for yourself, because when you are changing, your mind, your ego, it doesn't like change. It likes comfort. It likes to stick to what it knows. Anything outside of that feels uncomfortable. It feels new. So don't talk yourself out of these new standards that you're setting for yourself. And also, don't limit yourself. A lot of the times, we tend to limit ourselves. We tend to create these self-limiting beliefs. And that doesn't serve us any good. That doesn't serve us any purpose, especially when we're trying to love ourselves. The hardest thing about self-love is evaluate yourself, question yourself, interview yourself. Accept yourself, accept every single thing that you've done in the past, that you've done to go against who you truly are, your true feelings, your true nature, and seeing where you could be better. And that is honestly sitting with the hardest truth of having to see where you've been, know where you are, and face the reality of where you're heading and where you're going. When you look at yourself in the mirror, you need to see ways that you can be better. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. You need to ask yourself in the mirror, Where is it that in these areas of emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, you can be a better person? Because we all can be better. There's no one in this world that is perfect. Perfect does not exist. Perfect is actually imperfectness. You know, social media and society portrays this picture of perfect that is not reality, that does not exist. And we try to live up to those societal standards and societal beliefs that have been instilled in us. You have to look in the mirror and you have to be happy with who you are. You have to accept yourself for who you are. You cannot conform yourself to society's standard of beauty. You have to be willing to accept your nose, your eyes, your mouth, your body, your head shape, your this, your that. And it's very hard, especially when you don't have any self-love for yourself and you feel like you need to change these things about yourself, but that is what makes you unique. That is what makes you. So when you look at yourself and you're addressing all these things that you may not like about yourself and ways that you can improve mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, you're addressing it for good reasons. You're not addressing it because someone has told you that you can, lose 10 pounds, you can lose 20 pounds, or you can gain 20 pounds. You're addressing it for good reasons. You're addressing it because it's something that you want to do. You're addressing it because you're tired of that inner conflict that you're experiencing within yourself. When you are addressing your self-love, you're addressing it because you're ready to move forward within life. You're ready to be a better person. You're ready to start loving yourself. You cannot love others if you don't love yourself. You cannot be at peace in life if you are not in peace with yourself. It all starts with the inner you. Your external world is just a reflection of your internal world. So if your external world is reflecting chaos, then that's because your inner world is going through chaos. So when you are evaluating yourself, you also need to evaluate your reasoning. A lot of women, they do things for guys. A lot of women, honestly, they try to conform to society's standard of what beautiful means. And it's because this is what guys are setting the standard as. There was a whole big craze of women going to go get their body done because that's what guys wanted. But when you have self-love for yourself, you don't care what guys want. You care about what you want for yourself. And there's nothing wrong with having surgery, but are you having surgery for the right reasons? Are you having it for yourself and not for others? Another reason why self-love hurts is because you have to do the work. And doing the work is not easy, especially when you're managing so many other things. You're managing children, you're managing your household, you're managing work, you're managing yourself, you're managing other outside family members. And so when you have to sit down and reflect and see ways that you can improve, you have to be willing to do the work. It's not going to be a walk in the park because you're basically unlearning everything that society has taught you. You're basically unlearning everything that your family has taught you. You're basically unlearning everything that you thought that was true about yourself that was never true about yourself. So it's a reprogramming of the subconscious, and it's going to take a lot of conscious effort for you to put in that work, for you to be self-aware, for you to do the self-evaluation. With self-love, you cannot settle. You cannot compromise what you feel is necessary for yourself. And you're going to have that internal battle. And the strength will lie in you overcoming that inner battle, that inner conflict that tries to pull you back to what it used to know. Because this new you who you're becoming is scary. It requires work. It requires you to hold yourself to a high standard, to a high value. And a lot of people around you, they may start saying like, oh, you're acting brand new. This is not who you were before. And that's scary. But you need to understand that, yes, this is who you are becoming. You are choosing for yourself who you want to be. And that is what will benefit you in the long run. you know, in life, you will never be perfect. There will be always something that you have to work on or work towards. There will always be something to work on. Just like how in your life there's always a to-do list, there will always be something to work on internally within yourself. Don't stop learning, because when you stop learning, when you stop doing the things that are necessary within life, then you become stagnant. You become that couch potato. You become that person who has never nothing new to talk about. So self-love is one of the hardest things that you will ever have to do, but it's one of the most necessary things that you will have to do to become who you want to be and who the future you is, who you see yourself as. It's gonna require inner work. It's gonna require you to hold out on certain things. It's gonna require you to let some people go. It's gonna require new habits. It's gonna require a new mindset. It's gonna require a lot of new things, but just know that you have everything that you need inside of yourself. It's just about tuning into yourself. It's about tuning everyone else out and tuning into yourself. It's about working on your self-worth so that you can attract what you deserve. So that when someone comes to you with an offer that is less than what your standard is, you will know that you will not interact with that person, because that is not what you see for yourself. That is something that you know that you don't deserve. So you won't even waste time. So not only in loving yourself are you becoming a better person, but you're saving time. You're not wasting your time. And time is something too valuable and something that we take for granted because we feel that we'll have the next day or tomorrow, or no. All you have is right now. So in right now, choose the best for yourself. Choose something that your higher self would want for yourself. Start working on becoming a better person. Right now in the world, nothing is being done as best that it can be. Because if it were, then there wouldn't be any issues. There wouldn't be no problems. But guess what? These lessons, these experiences, these problems are needed so that we can realize that everything could be better and start working on improvement and start working on being the best versions of ourselves. So start acting today how your future self would act, and start working on being a better person and work on forgiving yourself. Alright, so if you guys like this video, make sure to leave a comment, make sure to like it, and make sure to subscribe. I cannot stress enough how your support, it just means the world to me. I hope to see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.